Welcome to the Ashby Tabletop Gamers review of the monster wargame Wacht and Rhein, produced by Decision Games. This game was purchased from Spirit Games in Burton-upon-Trent, and you might be able to see, that's £125. Retail price is £135, I understand, so that's a discount given by Spirit Games. Also, in addition to that, any purchase of over £100 gets a 10% discount, and therefore this game actually cost £112.50, which is a big discount on £135, but even so is a lot of money for 2,000 odd counters and 4 maps. So let's have a look and see what you get for that money. Let's take off the cellophane, shall we? That way. So here we go. Inside the box we have a pack of plastic bags and I believe 2 10-sided dice, so no 6-sided dice in this game, and a sealed pack of scenario booklet. The GOSS system booklet is in there as well, rule booklet in there, and a number of counter sheets which we will look at later. Perhaps more interestingly, we have the monster maps. I understand there are 4 maps in here, and we can see immediately that the maps are all the same size, which is interesting. They all will be single-side prints, yes, single-side prints, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of maps. We'll look at those in some detail. We also have some quick reference sheets. These look like generic sheets. Grand Operational Series Simulation, that's GOSS series, and these are examples of combat, and lo and behold, a whole range of tables on the back. There's 2 of these, 1 for each player, and then we also have a Wacht and Rhein German record track with eliminated units and broken down units, and also an Allied and a German artillery holding boxes. So these are the 4 maps that fit together to make the campaign battlefield. The 2 westernmost maps are smaller than the 2 easternmost maps, and the north of the westernmost maps also has another set of charts and aide-memoire to playing the game. Just look at the dimensions. That's 28 inches or 71 centimetres by 22 inches or 56 centimetres. That is the northwestern map. The southwestern map is the same dimensions, and then we have the 2 eastern maps, and these are bigger, and these are the size it actually says on the back of the box. 22 inches or 56 centimetres wide, and they are 34 inches or 86 centimetres long. I'll put those maps together to form the main battlefield in a minute. But the scenarios can be played on a single map or maybe 2 maps. I haven't read the scenarios yet. And later another review will give an initial review of at least a couple of these scenarios, so you can get a better idea of how playable this game is, other than as the true monster game of the whole campaign. Here we have the 4 maps joined together to create the campaign battlefield. Let's have a quick look at the dimensions to see if you can fit this into your wargames room or dining room table. And we have It's 43 inches or 109 centimetres wide. It's just over 61 inches and 156 centimetres long. So it's significantly less than just the size of each of the 4 maps put together, but it is a magnificent sight, and the printing that I've been able to see so far at least is excellent. The 4 maps join together very, very well. I only laid it out and all the roads line up, all the printing lines up. It seems very good. I will give you a close-up of a couple of the maps in a minute, but just to orient you on this map, obviously this is a map on the traditional view of the battle, with north to the top and east and west to left and right, so that the Germans are coming from the right hand side of the map across, and the Allies, and predominantly Americans, are defending and will be pushed back, no doubt, during the course of the battle from right to left. Luxembourg is, the country of Luxembourg is this bottom right hand corner of the map. Luxembourg, the city, is further off to the south, and then to the north of the map, just off the map, we have the Hurtgen forest. And I understand that the game Hurtgen, also produced by Decision Games, can link up with this game so that the maps, there is an expansion so the maps fit together. And this printing of the maps has been done on a different basis. It's using a standard colour way for the different the woods and the roads and rivers and so on, rather than the more washed out winter colours that we used in the original version of Wacht and Rhein. That's to enable this map to join up with the Hurtgen Forest map. I like this map, I must admit. It's got a lot of detail. It's apparently based upon German and American maps from around the time of the battle, so it's meant to be very accurate. There are some very, very minor differences in the layout of the map in this version compared to the earlier versions, and I understand it doesn't make any difference to the gameplay. They're not that significant. I would say that some of the roads, some of the roads don't fit the hexagons very well. I'll show you some examples of that. That's not really a criticism, because I think it would be pretty easy for the players to sort it out, but it can be unclear exactly which hex you're moving through in some circumstances, because the roads actually do go along hex sides. But I think that should be easily clarified. Overall, the look of it is excellent, and any student of history might be interested. Obviously, this is the Battle of the Bulge 1944, but you will also no doubt know that the German invasion of France was through the Ardennes in 1940, and we just about have some of that terrain on this map, because that southerly approach, which went through the south side of the Ardennes, does indeed come through this area here, and takes Sedan, which is just at the very bottom of the map here. And I do wonder if this game could be used to show a 1940 campaign as well. Certainly you're going to need the 2 bottom maps to show that. To give you a better idea of scale, here we have a close-up of the road from Bastogne to Uffalise, and if I zoom out from here, you can see how that fits in with the map generally. This is 10 hex distance from between the two. Bastogne is at the bottom, Uffalise is at the top. Here we go. And that probably shows about a quarter of the map in total. Without standing on the roof, I can't actually get a better picture than that. This is a good example of an area which is unclear on the map. it's probably an issue you get with overlaying a hexagon grid onto historical maps. You see the village of Villance, and the road that goes to the west-southwest crosses a stream, and it does so at the junction of 3 hexes. And so the question, I suppose, is what's the movement points to get from Villance to Massin? If there was a unit in this hex here, this just due south of the hex with Villance, could it stop something moving on the road? And there's another issue, very similar, which is as the same road goes to the east-northeast, it again enters a hex at a hex junction. So I think probably we would, as wargamers, agree a particular route, but that's not the only example. There are plenty of them. You can imagine on a map this size that there are many other examples. So let's now have a quick look at the counters and the rules. I would point out that you can view the general GOSS rules online if you go to the Decision Games website. There's a downloadable file. You can't see the scenario booklet, so this is a first for me. And this book is 48 pages long, and it contains the scenarios and an inventory of the game, which I might look at in more detail later. Then we have the general rules, and this is what you can read online. And this is again 48 pages long. They obviously like that. And you can see all of this if you want to by going onto their website. An article by John H. Butterfield, which was published in Strat and Tactics in September-October 2010. And this looks a nice reprint of that article, if you haven't read it before, and I haven't, so I'll enjoy this. Some very famous pictures here. Then we have a movement table, a replacement table, some more charts and tables, turn record track, and another turn record track, one for the Germans and one for the Allies, a game player aid card, which is single-sided and has details of combat. And then we have army record tracks, which was missing from, we had the German one earlier, and this is one for the US 1st and 3rd Armies and the British 21st Army Group, again single-sided. And finally, another record chart for unit types and a unit breakdown chart. So moving on, here we have the counter sheets. That's 1, 2, 3 US counter sheets, 1 British and markers sheet, and then we have, I suspect, the black counters are SS. 1, 2, 3 sets of German counters, and finally, let's call it 2 utility marker counter sheets. So of your 2,400 odd counters, the vast majority are genuinely unit counters rather than other markers. We'll have a quick look at those unit counters in a second. I've had a close look at the counters and they are very clear. They're well printed. There's hardly any bleed between 2 counters where the colours are different on adjacent counters. And I'll just show you here, we have the light blue of the German Luftwaffe units, in this case the Fallschirmjäger, and next to a normal German Wehrmacht unit. and the blue and the grey don't go onto each other's counters. On the back of some counters it's not quite as good. You see the back of these counters, there's a little bit of blue bleed onto the grey Mark IV and onto the Panther Mark V as well. But overall, it was very good, and there's quite a lot of white and black counters printed next to each other. One of the big issues I've had with war games in the past has been counters with a white stripe down the side or a black stripe or whatever colour, but this isn't the case here. So I'm very pleased with the counters. They all seem very clear and well printed. I will set up one of the scenarios and punch out the counters for that and put the map together and see how that looks, and play a game as well, and then do a review of that game. And maybe one day, if I can find a willing opponent, I'll also play the campaign game and give a review of that too. But for this stage, I'll leave the review here and do a separate review of one of the scenarios. After I videoed the box opening that you've just seen, I read the inventory of game parts in the scenario booklet, and that inventory is different to what came in the box. And then you saw what came in the box because you saw me opening it and it was all packaged up. So I went to Decision Games website and contacted them to find out what should be in the box, because there seemed some important things missing, but unsurprisingly, I think there wasn't anything missing. It was all there, and what's actually happened is that the inventory of game parts on the scenario booklet is wrong. So if you have also got the game and you're thinking there's parts missing, don't worry, it's highly likely that they are all there. But let me just take you through what you should find in the box, because you've already seen it once, but let's just be clear of what's in and what isn't in. So it says here 4 map sheets, which is what you will find. It says 4 US and Allied counter sheets. That's correct. 3 German counter sheets and 2 utility market counter sheets. That's all correct. 2 game turn record tracks, 1 US and 1 German. These are here. It says note, use the master reinforcement chart instead of those listed on these tracks. That is not correct. There is no master reinforcement chart, and the reinforcements that are listed on these 2 separate record tracks are what you should rely upon. It says 2 army level record tracks, which is this one here and this one here. 2 11 by 17 inch game cards, 2-sided, which are these 2 here. Then it says 2 8.5 by 11 inch unit breakdown charts, and that's this here. There's only one of these in the pack. That's correct, there is only one properly in the pack. And then this is where it goes wrong, even more so. It says 1 8.5 by 11 inch gameplay flowchart stroke master reinforcement list, which is referred to, 2-sided, that isn't in the pack. And nor is the 8.5 by 11 inch random events table and German transport table, miscellaneous table. That's not in the pack either. What you get instead are the separate chart here for transport logistics and movement tables, and the unit replacement table on the back, and a game player aid chart to help with ground assault combat. 1 rules booklet, which is the main rule booklet there, 1 scenario booklet, which is this one here, 2 10-sided dice. It doesn't mention the Objective Antwerp article, and that might not be in every pack, but it certainly is in those being shipped at the moment. Finally, I've also had a chance to look at the scenarios in the scenario booklet, and I'm very pleased with the number and breadth of these scenarios. I sort of imagined there might be sort of 4 or 5 scenarios and the campaign, but it's much better than that. The initial scenario, called Fight for Kestenek, is an introductory scenario just to get you used to the rules And interestingly, it starts before the Battle of the Bulge. It's only the 2 days before, but it's actually an American attack. It's on the south side of the Hurtgen Forest campaign, which is the very north part of the Battle of the Bulge area. And it's only got roughly 10 units per side, but there's a mix of artillery and engineers and infantry and armour. And the whole purpose of that is just to get you to have a go at the basic rules. Scenario 2 is called To Save Bastogne, and it's a sort of a tournament play scenario. It's only meant to last 2 or 3 hours, and that'll be another sort of almost like an introductory scenario. But then the main scenarios are split into 3 different parts, each by date. And the first group of scenarios are called the 16th December scenarios. And as you can imagine, these are a number of scenarios which all commence on the 16th of December, which is the beginning of the German attack. And the maps show where you play, and you can see there are 4 scenarios in here, and the detail of the scenarios are set out, which is very helpful. And the scenarios give a certain amount of historical commentary as well. The first scenario is the 6th Panzer Army, which is the one in the north. And the second scenario is St. Vith and the 106th fighting, that's sort of in the Virtue Centre. Scenario 3, the 47th Panzer Corps and the 110th Infantry Regiment, so that's just below St. Vith. And finally Scenario 4, hard left, 7th Army and the Southern Shoulder. And then you have all of the details of the unit setting up. The next group of scenarios is the December 21st scenario group, and these are lettered, and within the letters there are a number of variations as well. So for instance, scenario A is sparring on the Sound, which is in the south, and then scenario B is the Bastogne scenarios, and actually 3 of those. And again, the maps show how these scenarios fit together. So you have scenario A down here, scenario B here, and then scenario C, D, E, F and G. And so for this 21st December group, we've got 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scenarios, and you can put scenarios together so that it's not just those 9, but there's combinations. So for instance, in here we have the Southern Shoulder, which is scenarios A and B put together. And even greater than that, scenarios D, E and F. So again, this is the setup for those scenarios. And then finally we have the last set of scenarios, which are 28th of December scenario group. And the first group of scenarios, there's only really 2 here. Scenario 1, Bastogne, and scenario 2, which is the final attempts of 6th Panzer Army and 2nd SS Panzer Corps in particular to try and break through to the Meuse River. And then the final part of that is combining those 2 together, which is all the maps together, sort of the final reduction of the pocket, effectively, the bulge pocket. And obviously, we can't forget, we also have the campaign scenario, which is clearly all of the 4 initial scenarios playing through to for the full length until a conclusion is reached. I think I'm pretty pleased with the quantity of the scenarios. I don't know yet about the quality. I think the next video we'll do for this then is we'll play a couple of the scenarios, an introductory one maybe, and then one of the larger ones, and come back and just report on how they work, how the scenarios work, And we might also perhaps compare this game to perhaps Atlantic War, for instance, and see if you're going to buy one of these games, which one you might prefer.